Jai Shri Ram. Now we come to Canto 103. The summary is: fallen into a swoon to hear his father's ascent to heaven and brought back to consciousness by Bharat and others who sprinkle water on him and employ other such devices, Sri Ram laments in various ways. Comforted by Bharat and having in his turn consoled Sita and repairing to the bank of Ganga, nay, offering water and balls of cooked food to the spirit of his departed father, he returns to his hut. Hearing their cry of distress, the troops approach them and are greeted by Sri Ram according to their rank. Now we start the chapter. Hearing the pathetic news relating to the death of his father, King Dashrath, told by Bharat, Sri Ram, a sign of Raghu, fainted there. Hearing the aforesaid unpleasant and heart-rending news broken by Bharat, which was piercing like a thunderbolt discharged by Indra, the enemy of demons, on a field of battle, and raising his arms, Sri Ram, the scorcher of his enemies, for his part actually sank to the ground, precisely like a tree with boughs full of blossom, fell down with an axe in a forest. So it is said. Weeping with Sita, a princess of Videha territory, his celebrated brothers Bharat, Lakshman, and Shatrughan promptly sprinkled water all over Sri Ram, the ruler of the earth and the wielder of a mighty bow. Fallen on the ground as aforesaid, blasted with grief like an elephant exhausted by striking with his tusks against a river bank, and lying fast asleep due to fatigue. Shortly regaining his consciousness, the aforesaid Sri Ram, a sign of Kakushta, for his part, began piteously to wail, dropping tears from his eyes. Hearing of the emperor, his father, having ascended to heaven, the celebrated Sri Ram, whose mind was given to piety, addressed the following words consistent with righteousness to Bharat. Father, having reached the end of his life, the destiny assigned by Providence, what shall I do at Ayodhya? Who will look after the said city of Ayodhya, bereft of Dashrath, the foremost of kings? What purpose on earth of that high-souled monarch who died of grief caused by separation from me, and who was not even cremated by me, was served by me, his hapless child? O sinless Bharat, accomplished of purpose are you, by whom as well as by Shatrughan the king was paid homage to in all obsequial rites. Even when the term of my exile has expired, I shall have no heart to return to Ayodhya, which has been rendered destitute of its ruler and is therefore without a leader and agitated. Father, having departed to the other world, O scorcher of enemies, who will give instructions to me hereafter about my duty when I am back in Ayodhya, having completed the term of my exile in the forest? From whom shall I hear those words pleasing to the ear, which father addressed to me in the past, speaking kindly to me on seeing me of good conduct? Having spoken to Bharat as aforesaid, and turning to his consort, whose countenance resembled the full moon, as well as to Lakshman, Sri Ram, a scion of Raghu, who was tormented with grief, said to her, Your father-in-law is no more. O Sita, you are fatherless. O Lakshman, Bharat sorrowfully relates the emperor's ascent to the heaven. When Sri Ram, a sign of Kakushta, spoke as above, copious tears welled up in consequence in the eyes of those illustrious princes. Having consoled their afflicted brother to the best of their ability, all the aforesaid brothers then said to him, Let water be offered to the spirit of our imperial father. Hearing of the celebrated emperor, her father-in-law, having ascended to heaven, the renowned Sita, with eyes full of tears, was not able to look at her beloved lord. Consoling the aforesaid Sita, daughter of Janak, who was weeping, the afflicted Sri Ram, for his part, spoke as follows to the distressed Lakshman on the very spot. Bring the crushed pulp of ingudi, a piece of bark for being wrapped about my loins, and another for being used as an upper garment. I shall proceed to the river bank to perform the rite of offering water to the spirit of our high-souled father. Let Sita walk ahead and follow you at her heels. I shall follow in the rear, for such is the most painful procedure employed on the occasion of mourning. Consoling Sri Ram, a sign of Raghu, along with other princes, and holding the former by hand, Sumantra, their hereditary servant, who had realized the self, was possessed of great intelligence, gentle, self-controlled, and glorious, and was full of unswerving devotion to Sri Ram, helped him descend to the blessed river Mandakini. Having reached with difficulty because of their inability to walk, overwhelmed as they were with grief caused by their father's demise, the lovely and swift flowing river Mandakini, which was provided with easy descents for bathing purposes and was hemmed in with woodlands ever full of blossom and betaking themselves to a blessed descent free from mud, Sri Ram and others for their part offered water to the departed king, saying, Dear father, let the water reach you. Holding together in the form of a hollow in his palm full of water, and standing with his face turned towards the southern quarter, presided over by Yam, the god of death, Sri Ram, the ruler of the earth, for his part, spoke weeping as follows. Let this limpid water offered by me today serve you, who have left for the world of mains, inexhaustibly, O tiger among kings. Reascending to the bank of the Mandakini, the celebrated and glorious Sri Ram then offered balls of food to his father along with his other three brothers. Serving the crushed pulp of ingudi fruit mixed with the pulp of plums on a mat of kusha grass, Sri Ram, who was sore stricken with agony, spoke weeping as follows. Delightfully partake of this, which is our only food, O great monarch. Deities partake of the same food which a man worshipping them eats. Moving up from the river bank once more by the same route along which he had descended, Sri Ram, a tiger among men, then ascended the mountain Chitrakoot, which was crowned with a lovely summit. Reaching the entrance of the hut of leafy twigs in which he dwelt, Sri Ram, the emperor, now clasped both Bharat and Lakshman by his hands and wept loudly. From the cry of those brothers with Sita, a princess of the Videha kingdom, which resembled the noise of roaring lions, rose an echo in the mountain. The troops of Bharat got alarmed to hear the confused noise of the four exceptionally mighty brothers, who they thought were crying while offering water to the spirit of their deceased father, and said to one another, Surely Prince Bharat has met Sri Ram. This is undoubtedly the loud cry of those four brothers mourning for their deceased father. Leaving their conveyances, all troops without exception ran fast with an undivided mind to the place from which the sound was coming, with their faces turned towards that sound. Some people, other than the troops, who were tender of body, rode on horses, others on elephants, and still others in chariots, tastefully decorated, while still others went on foot alone. Eager to see Sri Ram as though he had been away from his home, Ayodhya, for a long time, although he had left his home not long before, all men rushed headlong to the hermitage of Sri Ram. Keen to behold the meeting of the four brothers, they for their part hastily rode on hoofed animals and wheeled vehicles of various kinds, run over by many animals and vehicles, and consequently struck against by hoofs and fellows. The land of Chitrakoot produced a tumultuous noise as heavens do during the gathering of clouds. Terrified by that noise, wild elephants, accompanied by female elephants, migrated to another forest from that place, perfuming the quarters with the scent of their ichor. Boars, wolves, and lions, buffaloes, sarmaras, and gorkanas, two distinctive species of deer, as well as tigers and gavanyas, along with spotted deer, felt stricken with terror. Chakravakas, swans, and waterfowl, plavas, a kind of heron, karandavas, a sort of duck, and other aquatic birds, male cuckoos and cranes flew utterly confused in various directions. The sky was screened with birds, terrified by that sound, while the land was covered with men, and both looked most charming on that occasion. All of a sudden, people now beheld the illustrious and sinless Sri Ram, that tiger among men, sitting on the altar. Approaching Sri Ram, the people who had been reproaching Kaikai, including Mantra, too, found their own face bathed in tears. Perceiving those men sore distressed with their eyes full of tears, Sri Ram, who knew what is right, presently embraced them like their father and mother. Nay, he embraced some men who deserved it, while others on that spot hailed him. Approaching them on that occasion, the princes received them all, including his friends and relations, according to the rank of each, making the earth and the heavens, as well as the mountains, mountain caves, and the quarters incessantly resound. The aforesaid cry of those wailing, high-souled men was continuously heard far and wide, like the sound of a clay tom-tom. Thus ends Canto 103 in the AYODHYAKAND of the glorious Ramayan of Valmiki, the work of a rishi and the oldest epic. Jai Shri Ram.